Hi friends, today we're going to work on characters. I know you know some things about characters, but today we're going to focus a little bit more on some specific things about characters. So our learning goal for today, at the end, you're going to be able to say, I can describe characters in a story. Characters can be people, animals, or things. And those characters can think and feel and act. And throughout this story, changes can happen. They can change. So today we're going to start off with a video about characters. And then we're going to read a story.
Our learning goal says, I can describe characters in a story. Let's talk a little bit about who characters can be in a story. Characters are people, like my friend Madeline. Characters can also be animals, like our friend Winnie the Pooh. And characters can also be things, like this little book friend right there. Characters do a lot of things in stories. They think. Curious George thinks of a lot of things that he would like to explore. They feel things. My friend Chrysanthemum felt a lot of things in her story. She was happy and sad and scared and worried. They also act. That means they do things in the story. A character normally doesn't just sit there and not think or feel or move around. Normally, they have some kind of action. Characters also change. They don't always stay the exact same as they are in the beginning, as they are in the middle, and then as they are in the end. Normally, something about them changes. Like, they could be afraid of something, and in the end, they're brave. They could be really sad in the beginning of a story. By the end, maybe they're happy. Oh, goodness. They could be very unkind in a story in the beginning, and then turn out to be really friendly. Characters change. Now, why are we talking about characters, friend? Because good readers, they think about the characters as they read. Like, for example, one of my favorite stories to read is Harry Potter. I love all of those books. When you're older, hopefully you'll read them too. The thing is, as I was reading the stories of Harry Potter, the reason why I enjoyed it so much is because I was constantly thinking about, oh goodness, how is Harry feeling? What is he going to do next? And it made me kind of feel like Harry was my real friend because I got so invested or thinking a lot about what was going on in his life through the stories. When we think about the characters, the rest of the story makes more sense. Our learning goal for today says, I can describe characters in a story. And what I would like you to do when you're reading your books is think about the characters and think about how you would describe them.
Now we're going to read a story called The Birthday Pet. In the story, a little boy named Danny is asked what kind of pet he would like for his birthday. And everybody has their own ideas. Let's see what happens. While we're reading the story, I want you to think about what the characters are doing. Think about Danny. How is he acting? How is he feeling? What is he thinking? And think about if Danny or the other characters change throughout the story. I'm going to share the story. It's from our books at school. It's like one of the big books that we read at school that I show you, and sometimes I share on the screen. The story is called The Birthday Pet by Javernick. She's the author. And what does the author do? If you said the author writes the words, you are correct. I want you to sing with me. The author writes the words, the author writes the words. All day in every book, the author writes the words. The next person on here is the illustrator. The illustrator is Kevin O'Malley. And what does the illustrator do? Sing with me. The illustrator draws the pictures. The illustrator draws the pictures. All day in every book, the illustrator draws the pictures. This is a table of contents. In our big books, we had 2 stories in one big book. The first one is The Birthday Pet. And if you look on the table of contents, you see that The Birthday Pet starts on page 4. The Birthday Pet by Ellen Javernick, illustrated by Kevin O'Malley. It was Danny's birthday, and his folks, that's his parents, said he could get any kind of animal he wanted for a pet. Do you see Danny sitting there thinking? If you look at the picture, you notice that he has pictures behind where he's writing at a little desk. Over here, he's drawn some pictures of animals. So he's really thinking about what he's wanting to get for a pet. Danny thought it over. Before he went to bed, all he really wanted is a turtle, he said. But instead, Dad said, "You don't want a pet that sits still like a log." So he went out and got Danny a dog. The dog knocked Danny over when they went outside to play. If Danny took her walking, she always ran away. Think about Danny. How's Danny feeling right about now? What do you think he's thinking? "How's the dog?" asked the father. Danny shook his head. "All I really want is a turtle," he said. Do you notice what Danny's doing over here on this box? Pay attention to the box as we go along. But instead, Mom said, "A turtle's not cuddly or soft like a mitten." So she went out and got Danny a, rhymes with mitten, kitten. Do you see where the kitten is? Kitten's up high in a tree. Danny's down here looking up at that cat. What do you think he's thinking? How is he feeling? What do you think he wants to do? The kitten was cuddly, but it made Danny sneeze. And he always had to get it down from the trees. "How's the kitten?" asked his mother. Danny shook his head. "All I really want is a turtle," he said. See? You thinking about how he's feeling? How's Mom feel about that kitten? But instead, his big brother said, "You ought to pick a pet more exciting than that." So he went out and got Danny a rat. I kind of feel the way Danny does, just looking at his face. The rat's beady eyes were a scary sight, and the rat kept Danny up when it gnawed, that means to chew, in the night. "How's the rat?" asked his brother. Danny shook his head. "All I really want is a turtle," he said. You see him down here? Do you see what he's made himself into being? Look at his face compared to his brother's face. How are each of them feeling? What are they thinking? But instead, his older sister said, "You would like a turtle? A turtle is absurd." That means a silly idea. So she went out and got Danny a, what rhymes with absurd? Bird. The bird only nipped. It didn't even talk. It was sort of pretty, but it had a nasty squawk. "How's the bird?" asked his sister. Danny shook his head. "Not one of you listened to anything I said." So instead, his family got Danny a turtle. Wow, look at his face. How's he feeling right now? What is he thinking? How is he acting? With a nice hard shell, Danny couldn't wait for his show and tell. The turtle blinked her eyes and never made a sound. She played peekaboo as she crawled around. And up here it says, Danny and his amazing turtle, Lulu. So his new turtle is named Lulu. And I think he might be feeling pretty proud of his turtle. I can tell on his face how excited he is. What do you think his teacher is thinking? He fed her bugs and lettuce, and he made a turtle gym. Danny thought the turtle was the perfect pet for him. So Dad kept the dog, his brother kept the rat, his sister kept the bird, and his mom kept the cat. I'm looking at their faces. I'm thinking they look a little bit different in their faces now compared to what they were when they were first thinking of giving Danny those pets. Danny kept the turtle, and that was the end of that. So I see Danny dressed like a turtle with his pet Lulu. And I want you to think with me, how did Danny feel at the beginning of the story? I think he was kind of excited because he was going to get to pick his very own pet. Then as the story went along, everybody else had an idea for him, the pet they thought he should have. And he started to feel not so good about that. And he said, "Hey, you all aren't listening to me at all. You're coming up with your own ideas of what you would like. And you asked me what I would like." So I think he might even have been a little frustrated. And then at the end of the story, he changed. He wasn't frustrated anymore because they listened to him and they got him his pet turtle that he wanted all along. So what I would like you to do is, as you are reading a story, I want you to think about the characters. I want you to think how they feel, how they think, and how they act. And I want you to think, as you're reading the story, how they're changing and what's happening. When you read with someone at home, see if you can talk to them about your story. That's going to help you understand what you're reading even better. Until next time, keep on reading. You could share with me what books you're reading. and tell me about the characters and what they're doing.